Running from the 27th of August to the 12th of September is the Rising, the latest Eorzean holiday to decorate the streets of the three city-states and beyond. But what is the Rising? Well, officially, it is the holiday to celebrate and commemorate the relaunch of Final Fantasy XIV as a Realm Reborn after the disaster that was 1.0. I'm not going to get into why the relaunch was needed. I'm sure you know the story yourself, or if you don't, you can just find a documentary because it was that bad. But this celebration isn't just to ring in another year of Final Fantasy XIV's existence, because in the lore, in the Final Fantasy XIV universe, the Rising is also an event held in order to honor those who passed during the 7th Umbral Calamity. To give a little context, probably a little over 5 years ago now, 5 in-universe years, mind you, Eorzea was on the brink of destruction. Because of the schemes of one Nail Van Darnus, the Red Moon of Dalamud drew too close to Hydaelyn and lost its orbit. Slowly, over the next little while, the moon would drop, descending and inching closer and closer to the surface until, during the climactic Battle of Cartano, the satellite came close enough to shatter, and the primal contained within Bahamut was unleashed upon all of Hydaelyn. The destruction that was wrought was great. The world was bathed in a fire, and Eorzea was forever changed. Ground zero for the event. Many died, many suffered, climates were changed, and the heroes of Eld were gone, sacrificed and banished to stop Bahamut's rage before the rest of the stars suffered as Eorzea had. And thus did the world enter into a new age, a new era, the 7th Umbral Era. 5 years would go on to pass, and once the world had properly recovered and new heroes rose up to help rebirth the realm, to honor those who had been lost in Bahamut's flame, the Adventurers Guilds of Eorzea established the Rising, a holiday aimed at honoring the dead while commemorating Eorzea's rebirth. Hence the name The Rising, as the nations of the world had gone on to rise from the ashes and towards a better tomorrow off of the sacrifices of those who came before. To quote the official description of the first ever Rising to take place, the heavens are ablaze with fireworks as Eorzea celebrates the Moonfire Faire, with the townfolk captivated by majestic colors sweeping across the skies. Adventurers Guild chaperones set off a special set of fireworks to mark another momentous occasion, the Rising. In memory of those lost to the Calamity, and with hopes for a better tomorrow, the night sky alights with flowers of flame, a beauty to behold the realm over. To go off the beaten path for a minute, given what I just read to you, there is a lot of parallels between the Moonfire celebrations of the Rising and the Rampage of Bahamut. Fireworks light up the sky now, but it was once the flares of Bahamut that lit up the sky then. People were captivated by what was happening in the sky now, but back then, they were terrified. The event is known as the Rising, but back then, it was actually a fall. Thought I should mention that because I thought it was really cool. Anyways, as tradition, the city-states are decorated with shining lights each and every night from the 27th to the 12th. Special fireworks light up the sky, and banners depicting a fiery flower, which bears a striking resemblance to the falling moon of Dalamud, mind you, are placed all around. Local bards sing new verses to honor the dead and those of the present and the future. And new commemoratives of the past are created for the occasion. One such commemorative, for example, is the Sultana's 7, a glass pane depicting the Sultana and the 7 knights who came to her aid in order to quell the rampant riots of Ul'dah that occurred on the cusp of the Calamity. So in short, the Rising acts as a time of remembrance, reflection, commemoration, and fireworks. The holiday also acts as a way for Yoshida, the game director, and the reason why Final Fantasy XIV is still around to this day, to personally thank the player for their commitment to Eorzea and, playing the game. And finally, because it has to be mentioned, the music chosen to ring through the Ruby Road and other similar places is a reverbed, reprised version of the song Answers, which is Heidelin's answer to the Ancient, and the same exact song that plays during the opening cutscene of A Realm Reborn. My name is Dave, thank you for watching, and because I think it is super fitting this time around, remember well.